So I brought some examples back home just to have a closer look at and comparison with the autumn colours. So start at this end. So we got older. So as before with all the other ID vids we've done, you can see it's just a basic sort of round shape. They often have this sort of lobe indent here at the top of the leaves. You'll see the cones often left on the tree even into winter time. So these are dropped the seeds now. And that's the small leaf lime, which has sort of a pointed, it's almost a heart shape, but slightly pointed. And again, it's fruit part of these seeds. And the English oak's very distinctive with the shaped leaves. There's another species in Britain called the sessile oak. I haven't been able to find any in this locality where I live, but we might be something we look at in the future vid. But one key distinguishing feature with the acorns from the English to the sessile oak, so this is the English oak, is the acorns are always on a long stalk. So think of a pendulum in like an old grandfather clock, and that's another common name for English oak is pedunculate oak. So that's just one way. Whereas the sessile oak, the acorns are pretty much attached to the main stalk, there's no long stalk here. Again, you can always check this on the internet or in an identification book. So moving on, so cherry, this is the bird cherry. This is an ornamental one, but just threw it in just to have a look. Different colours there. And looking at the hedgerow trees, so we've got blackthorn, again quite distinctive oval shape to hawthorn. Hawthorn does vary quite a bit with its leaf shape, but you see with these deep lobes, this one's sort of a bit more, I don't know how you describe it really, but sometimes they're a little bit wider, the lobes, or the ribs. So the birch leaf, it's got that kind of like a spearhead shape, quite distinctive, and the one of the catkins we found, which you don't always, because they often disintegrate very quickly. Then we've got the hazel, just a few different size shapes in the same tree. So if you're lucky you can find the hazelnuts, which are edible. You're going to beat the squirrels to it usually. And in comparison we've got the elm. So as mentioned before, hazel has a symmetrical base, elm has an asymmetrical, so it's longer this side, shorter that side. And also, like I mentioned in the summer one, the elm is quite rough feeling, got like these bristly hairs, so it gives it a sandpaper-like feel. So, hazel to elm, also the elm's just a little bit more pointed at the tip. Then two similar trees in the sounding name, the chestnuts, but they are quite distinctly different species. So the horse chestnut, which has that distinct hand shape, 5 big lobes. In the autumn time they disintegrate very easily, so you can see they often just break apart, so you don't always find them as a whole leaf, not necessarily. Compared to the sweet chestnut, you can see it's a more sort of broad spear shaped leaf, and it never forms a hand. Compared to the sweet chestnut, like a spear shaped leaf. And then just a smaller one there. Then looking at the fruit, all the nuts on the chestnut tree. So with the horse chestnut, the shell itself, it's quite sort of broadly spiked. Sort of looks like a sea mine or something. They always break up into quarters. Now I've not been able to find any conkers this year. I think it's been quite a poor year for the trees producing the nuts. They do go through phases of this. Sometimes they'll have a better year, and then other years they're a bit more plain. So that's just one from a previous year. It has dried out. But you can see it's the round oval. So the conker has that very distinctive round shape. And they are toxic. You can't eat these. Compared to the sweet chestnut, which you can again look at the seed case first. This is a lot more prickly almost like a hedgehog fur. So it's a lot more prickly compared to the horse chestnut. Let's do a bit of a comparison. So the horse chestnut sort of more bigger spikes, whereas the sweet chestnut very fine prickly. And then again, if you can beat the squirrels to it, although these haven't been very good, they're quite small actually. That's the edible sweet chestnut. So they're sort of like a point and a tuft. So looking at the ash, a couple of examples here. Again, this time of year they become very brittle and just fall apart. That's when they rot down into the leaf litter. But they have several leaves on it, usually about sort of 9 and sometimes 11. And then the ash keys, as we looked at before, and comparing to the sycamore keys, which might seem similar, but you can see there's quite distinct difference. So the ash keys are just sort of more the flatter oval, whereas the sycamore, it's that distinctive seed with the like propeller, so it's like a helicopter blades. So with the sycamore, these are a bit fresher, so they're more yellowy colour. This one's got that black spot again we were talking about. So they have the seeds like little helicopters. That's pretty distinctive. So again, we'll just compare it with the ash keys. They're a different shape. They're sort of more just oval. Whereas these got that sort of rotary blade. And also, just for the comparison, the field maple. This one's not long fallen off the tree. These have been down on the leaf litter, so you can see they're starting to lose the colour as they slowly break down into the soil, sort of due to the bacteria and the fungi. And then these are the field maple seeds, which if we compare to the sycamore, are very similar really. So we can't really tell them apart. But they both have those because they're the Acer family. So main thing is the size difference, and also these are a little bit more pointed compared to field maple. So obviously that's just a smaller leaf, whereas when you get to full size leaves you can see sycamore's much bigger. So that concludes it. Thanks for watching.